climbs. They will do them one at a time, female, male, female, male. The first two athletes will do the rope climbs with their legs, but the next two have to do those rope climbs legless.
The majority of this event is going to be fast and furious, but it's really going to come down to that second female and how they're going to be able to handle that legless rope climb. 95
pounds on the bar for the men, 65 pounds on the bar for the women. Margot Alvarez will lead it off for the United States. She is an Invitational rookie. Alvarez coming off her best career finish at the CrossFit Games. She was 9th this year. The crowd was so loud they didn't hear the start buzzer, so we have to get this thing going again. They have been friends off of the court, but now it's time to get down to business. International pride is on the line here as we start the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Invitational. Margot Alvarez leading off for the United States, 21 thrusters, and then she will move to the rope for 4 rope climbs. Emily Abbott is the leadoff for Canada. Keep an eye on the top of the screen. The team in blue will be your leader. The number of reps they have completed will be in the white box. The teams behind them in red, the number in the white box will indicate the number of reps they are behind. Australia currently leads. That is Tia Toomey, the second fittest woman on earth, to the rope first, and she is done with 1 rope climb.
Now, this is where it's going to be very interesting on those rope climbs. Even though all of these athletes, the first 2 athletes, get to use their legs, they still have to pace themselves correctly. As all of the CrossFitters out there know, when you're doing something that resembles Fran, a 21-15-9 of a thruster, and anything that's going to be moving you fast, you're going to have that lactic acid burn, so you have to make sure that you pace yourself, even though it is an all-out sprint.
Tia Toomey slightly ahead of Margot Alvarez. Toomey is back to her barbell. She will do 15 thrusters at 65 pounds. Alvarez back to the barbell, as is Emily Abbott in the red. And Katrin Davidsdottir for Europe is in 4th.
Catherine right there. This is an event that I'm sure once they said rope climb, she was going to be a little nervous about this. The rope climbs have never been really her specialty, so she just needs to kind of hang in there. She knows that in Sarah Sigmundsdottir they're going to have a much better rope climber when it comes to the legless, so she just needs to keep her team close.
Tia Toomey continues to hold the lead for the Pacific team. Emily Abbott is second to the rope, and now Margot Alvarez, as the United States is back in 3rd. Europe sits in 4th place, but Alvarez done with her first rope climb on her second set, as is Emily Abbott, and now Tia Toomey done as well, but she is right back up. 54 reps need to be completed by the first athlete, then the women will tag off to the first male athlete. Tia Toomey is on to her final set of thrusters. She will perform 9, and then she will tag off to Kevin Manuel. Cara Webb in front of Toomey, coaching her through. As the Pacific team is opening up a significant lead on the United States, but Canada and Emily Abbott on the right of your screen holding close to Tia Toomey, and Abbott and Toomey making their way back for their final 2 rope climbs. Toomey right back up on the left. Abbott chasing her on the right.
And if you look at how they're both picking their feet up, Tia Toomey was really lifting her legs up a lot higher, and that was allowing her to get through those ropes much faster.
Toomey has made the tag to Kevin Manuel, who is the tallest athlete in this competition. He'll have a much bigger range of motion here.
So for the thruster, he's going to have to do a little bit more distance, but if you can look down at his feet, he's actually taking a pretty wide stance, so that is going to shorten up that squat that he has to do. However, once they get to the rope climbs, we're going to see both him and Alex Vigneault so tall that it's going to be one pull for those athletes.
Dan Bailey is on to his first set of 21 thrusters at 95 pounds as the Europe team is falling back, as Davidsdottir making the tag to the youngest man in this competition, Jona Koski. Alex Vigneault and Kevin Manuel are fighting for the lead. The Pacific team still in front, 76 reps. At 108 reps, they will tag off to the second and final female athlete.
Wow, these guys are just really pulling ahead. They've moved really well. For being such tall athletes, move so fast through the thrusters, and they're just really moving through these rope climbs, making it look just so easy. One pull for both of them.
Kevin Manuel at the bottom of your screen making his way back to the barbell for his set of 15. Dan Bailey working on his first set of rope climbs as Alex Vigno will now join Kevin Manuel on the barbell. Pacific continues to lead. Canada is 5 reps back, Europe 9 reps back, and now the United States falling further off the pace as well.
What Dan Bailey really needs to do is use his short, I don't want to say lack of height for on those thrusters, but he really needs to turn on the juice when he gets to those numbers and really put the pressure on these taller athletes like Kevin Manuel there in the green.
Manuel collecting his breath as he moves back for 3 rope climbs. Again, the first 2 athletes can use their legs. The second 2 have to perform the rope climbs legless. They will have fewer repetitions to complete, but it's a much more difficult movement. Alex Vigno, the game's rookie, the man who pushed Matt Fraser at the East Regional this year, trying to chase down Kevin Manuel, who has a significant advantage here with his height. But Vigno is threatening to catch him. The United States and Europe fighting for 3rd place. Manuel's done. He has 9 thrusters left. Jonakoski for the Europe team with 2 rope climbs to go on his second set. The Pacific team and the first man from New Zealand to compete at the games in the open era, Kevin Manuel, leading event number 1, 6 points to the winner, 4 points for second place, 2 for third, and none for fourth. And Kevin Manuel is done, and 2 final rope climbs before he will tag off to Cara Webb. Alex Vigno making his way back to the rope and trying to stay even with Kevin Manuel. It's a fight between the Pacific team and the Canada team for the lead in the first of 5 scored events.
And I'll say Kevin Manuel in the green looks like he's really tiring out, but he's still able to keep pushing through that lactic acid burn that's just sizzling inside him right now.
Manuel tagging off to Cara Webb, the woman who finished 5th at the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Games, and she will have to battle Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet in the red. It's still Pacific and Canada fighting for the top spot in the opening event of the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Invitational. 159 is the magic number that Cara Webb needs to hit before she will tag off to the final male, Ben Gerard, for the Pacific team.
Now we just saw that China Cho just got her hand off, and we talked about this particular position being extremely important in the female and how they're going to do those legless rope climbs. I'm not sure what happened with Dan Bailey. It looked like he got a little bit behind when Jonakoski passed him up, but now China Cho really has the pressure put on her to get USA back into the game here.
Cara Webb has completed her first legless rope climbs. She's on the left. Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet on the right. She's through one. Webb looking to get back up. They cannot use their legs on the way up, but they can use them to control the descent, and they have to make the touch on that beam. They can't touch that shackle that the rope is attached to. Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet is now done with her second legless rope climb. 3 total in this first round. China Cho for the Americans, making her first invitational appearance.
And every time they've had a rope event, China has been so just dominant in that. So not only does she have to just do well, she needs to go and really push the limits and really catch up to this, which she looks like she's able to do right now.
China Cho making up ground for the Americans as Europe is falling behind. On the left is Cara Webb. She is your leader for the Pacific team. On the far right of the screen, Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet, who's trying to catch up with the Pacific team, and now Europe gaining ground.
Look how calm Camille is. Now, granted, she's a shorter athlete, so she does not have a huge range of motion, but this is that relaxed experience that we always talk about with Camille.
Cara Webb is done, but Sarah Sigmundsdottir, the 3rd fittest woman on earth, is catching up, and now all 4 women will be at the rope at the same time. Cara Webb has watched that lead disappear, but she will be the first woman to begin her second set of legless rope climbs. Sarah Sigmundsdottir has helped Europe now move into second, and China Cho has the Americans in third.
And the difference I'm seeing here with these athletes is as Cara's up starting, she has really, really short pulls. The other athletes like China and Sarah, much longer pulls. Look at how China's reaching out there to get that distance.
China Cho taking over the lead for the United States, and Sigmundsdottir has put Europe in second, and Cho is working her way back to the barbell, as is Sarah Sigmundsdottir. Cara Webb moving the Pacific team into third, and here comes Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet.
This is exactly what USA needed. They needed to have a powerful woman to get on that rope if they were going to have any shot with this particular event. Sarah Sigmundsdottir has been moving really well on the thruster and hanging tight on the rope, but this is where China needs to put the exclamation point on this event for Rich to get out there.
China Cho back to the rope first, followed by Cara Webb and Sarah Sigmundsdottir. If Cho can hang on to this lead, she gets to hand off to the four-time fittest man on earth, Rich Froning, and that's a heck of a man to be running the anchor leg in this event. Cho is done, and she will now hand off to Rich Froning. Sarah Sigmundsdottir tags off to Bjørgen Gudmundsen. And the Pacific team has fallen into fourth place as Camille tags off to Lucas Parker.
This is exactly what Rich needed. He needed China to give him a lead. He needed China to get that team back into the front so where he could just go and put the stomp on this particular event for the USA team.
Ben Gerard on the left of your screen in the green is now getting to work on the final leg for the Pacific team. 210 is the number that they are working towards. Rich Froning done with his 21. The Americans looking to lock up 6 points in the opening event of the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Invitational. Bjørgen Gudmundsen and Lucas Parker now trying to chase down Froning.
We could say a lot that Rich can do so many things so well, but he really does climb ropes, whether it's legless or not legless. He's one of the best rope climbers in the CrossFit community that athletes out there.
Froning done, now back to the barbell with 15 thrusters in his second round. Lucas Parker trying to move Canada into second place ahead of Europe. And Froning continues to open up a bigger margin on the field. Parker has moved Canada into second. Bjørgen Gudmundsen back to the barbell for 15 thrusters. Europe is in third, and the Pacific team, who led for most of this event, has fallen back into fourth place.
Lucas is a super powerful athlete. Again, a shorter range of motion with a lot of his movement. And he did really well on the rope, too, really putting them into second place. But Rich just dominates. When it comes to thrusters, he's always so relaxed. He's able to breathe at the right places, but his rope climbs are impeccable, which is crazy because this is what hurt him the very first year he was at the Games.
A man by the name of Graham Holmberg and a rope kept Rich Froning from winning the CrossFit Games in 2010. Had it not been for those two things, Froning may have won 5 in a row. And Rich Froning is now done with his 2 legless rope climbs. He has 9 thrusters and 1 legless rope climb to go. Lucas Parker sprinting back to the bar. He's trying to catch Froning. The battle for third is between the Pacific and Europe. Froning, 2 to go. And he'll have 1 legless rope climb and a final sprint to the finish line to close out the opening event of the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Invitational. But here comes Lucas Parker. Froning right to the rope. Parker, he wastes no time either. Froning will make the touch, and the Americans will lock up 6 points in event number 1.
Impressive. You know what? I was calling them out of the gate on this particular workout, but I really got nervous in the beginning. They were way further back than I thought they would be.
Canada will finish second. The Pacific team is solidly in third. Pacific is in fourth as Bjørgen Gudmundsen is now done. Ben Gerard, the last man to the rope. So no points for the Pacific team. Europe will lock up 2 points. But that event for the Americans was very Froning-like. As Ben Gerard hears it from the crowd, the only man left on the competition floor, he will sprint across the finish line and close out the opening event in front of a very energetic crowd here in Madrid, Spain.
That was a super fun event to watch. It was very fast and furious. But this was exactly what we were hoping for. We wanted to see a battle, and we really haven't talked about Canada all that much. And look, they just hopped right in there in a very close second place.
Rich Froning talking things over with Ben Gerard. Margot Alvarez on the opening leg for the United States fell behind, but kept the pace that was good enough for the rest of her team.
She did, and it was moving great. But what the entire thing came down to China, and she took the team from fourth place to first place, and just allowed Rich to do what he does, which is go and win.
And when Rich Froning has a lead, he's a tough man to catch. But if you know the history of Rich Froning, he has a history of sort of lagging behind, and then at the end he turns it on, and that's what the Americans do as they take event number 1 with a time of 12:25.